1, 2. Is this on?
When things get too close for comfort in a match, a receipt is a form of payback.
Because he told the world when he's going to cash in his contract.
He gave me the receipt for that because he kicked the shit out of me. I didn't say anything because, you know, I knocked him out.
A way for wrestlers to handle business in the ring, either there and then, or a short time later.
And he came in, I was like, boom, and he came back for the 2, and I saw his mouth was bloody, and I was like,
oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Undertaker with the right. There's a right again. Hassan. Oh, my God. You see his knees, he collapsed.
The initial contact might be an accident, but the receipt is always on purpose.
First time I've ever done this, I put him in my move and I deliberately tried to drop him on his head.
And today we've got a host of examples you won't have seen before,
But I stiffed the shit out of that kid. Kicked him right in the head.
as we list 10 new wrestling receipts. First, we go to an episode of Raw from Japan on February 14, 2005, where Randy Orton was in the midst of a feud with Christian. After defeating Christian's problem solver Tyson Tomko in a match, Orton was hit from behind by Captain Charisma. The strike ended up bursting Randy's eardrum, which left officials concerned backstage.
EMTs, the officials, and there you see Randy trying to stand on his own, could not do so.
I cuffed you so hard in the head, and I guess it knocked your equilibrium all crazy.
Yeah, this one you popped my eardrum?
This one I popped your eardrum. And I came back and I was like, Randy's hurt, Randy's hurt.
There are you. Oh, come on, damn it.
And you opened the curtain, you said, relax everyone, I was just working, I was just selling it, you know, and everyone's like, oh cool. We got down the stairs, you put your arm around me, and you whispered in my ear, you went, I am so fucked up.
A week later, while facing Christian one-on-one, Orton got his receipt in the form of a stiff right hand.
And I remember before we went out there, you kind of nudged me and said, watch out for that receipt. When you hit me, you clocked me right in the head. Remember this? I had this goose egg like I've never had before. There was like this huge contusion, just grew, like another head grew out of the side of my head.
The punch left Christian with a massive lump on the side of his head.
And another near fall. Look at that huge lump on the side of the head of Christian.
FAAROOQ was considered one of the most snug wrestlers who laid his stuff in no matter what. That meant he certainly wasn't someone you wanted a receipt from. RHYNO learned this the hard way during a 6-man tag on the August 23rd, 2001 edition of SmackDown. At the start of the match, RHYNO nailed FAAROOQ with a short arm clothesline, but caught him in the throat instead of the chest. The Man Beast spoke about the exchange on the Stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw podcast.
And as I throw my arm up, Jerry, I punch him right in the throat. You know, and I had to throw it really hard, too.
Here's RHYNO, reversal on big clothesline knockdown.
I thought it was just going to come across his chest, but I punched him right in the throat.
Later in the bout, FAAROOQ was ready to dish out his receipt with RHYNO's name on it.
And I'm like, oh shit, a receipt's coming. And, you know, because I know he's old school. And he doesn't kick my head off, but he kicks me. He gets me right there, and he goes up with it and opens up my eye.
Goes down and so does TAZZ.
Backstage afterward, FAAROOQ would jokingly question where RHYNO got the mark on his face from.
You know, he knew I wasn't careless, you know, and he knew it was an accident, but the rules of the, you know, it's like, you'll get a little receipt. So I'm glad it happened then, you know.
On his YouTube channel, Maven Huffman has talked about numerous receipts he was involved in, one of which occurred in his debut match on WWE TV. It went down on the October 4th, 2001 SmackDown, where Maven took on his former Tough Enough trainer, TAZZ. TAZZ wanted Maven to work a physical match, and the rookie did exactly that, by catching the human suplex machine with a slap to the face.
As physically abusing Maven and verbally abusing him.
Popped him, and I was like, sorry. And he tapped me on the stomach, and he was like, no problem, you'll get it.
TAZZ responded after the bell by taking Maven down with a stiff clothesline.
I'm surprised to see that.
And he clotheslined me. And that was a receipt. And that's just the business. In 5 minutes, I got my jaw knocked offline, got my jaw dislocated, and I busted my eardrum. From 2 pops from TAZZ.
The next week, Maven looked like he handed out a receipt to the receipt by leveling TAZZ with a hard, albeit safe, clothesline.
Sportsmanship in his life, TAZZ.
Next, we have another clothesline exchange, this time involving Chris Benoit. Benoit's version of the move was unique, in that he was one of the rare wrestlers to throw a left-handed clothesline. The intense snap and pace Chris got behind the maneuver is an example of how he took pride in making everything he did look real. Buff Bagwell realized this on the January 16th, 1993 episode of WCW Saturday Night, when he was on the end of a trademark Benoit clothesline. Bagwell gave it right back though, with a heavy clothesline of his own. Bagwell discussed the encounter on his Marcus Buff Bagwell YouTube channel.
Well, I gave that receipt, and it was a clothesline right back to his face.
Elevation back body drop. It's on! Oh, what a
Chris Benoit's like, hey, brother, I got you on that clothesline, and I'm proud of you for getting it back, you know?
This was a few years before Bagwell would adopt his buff persona. However, Bagwell believes the Benoit match helped put him on the map, since it showed he could work, thanks to Chris carrying him to such an impressive contest. Going back to Maven's channel now, Muhammad Hassan went on there to discuss his time in WWE. Hassan spoke about his feud with The Undertaker, and how during their match at the 2005 Great American Bash, Hassan caught the Phenom with a shot that Taker believed warranted an immediate receipt. The Undertaker has given out dozens of receipts over the years, so any wrestler that tagged him a little too hard could always expect something back in return. Taker's punch to Hassan knocked Muhammad for a loop, so he needed some time to compose himself after.
And he came in, I was like, boom, and he came back for the 2, and I saw his mouth was bloody, and I was like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Here it comes.
So he fucking, boom.
Undertaker with a right. There's a right again. Hassan. Oh my God. You see his knees, he collapsed. Did you hear this?
And he's like, are you okay? I'm like, right there. He's like, nope, I need a minute. He goes, okay. And he powders out. See him?
Next, we have a receipt that occurred after Daniel Bryan was knocked unconscious during a match with Alberto Del Rio on the 19th of August 2011 SmackDown. Bryan was out cold after Del Rio kicked him in the head.
Because he told the world when he's going to cash in his contract.
Alberto then asked the ref if they should just go to the finish on account of the injury. Referee Charles Robinson then got word from Gorilla telling them to keep going.
And Bryan opened his eyes, and I was like, hey, brother, are you okay? And he's like, where are we? I was like, shit.
Eventually, Bryan came to and was able to finish the match without issue, but not before getting his receipt, courtesy of a few snug kicks to the back.
Okay, I'm not going to argue that point too. He's probably right, but it doesn't matter. Del Rio played by the rules.
He gave me the receipt for that because he put me in the corner and he kicked the shit out of me. I didn't say anything because, you know, I knocked him out.
Let's now highlight a non-traditional receipt, so to speak. It occurred during Kid Kash's feud with Juventud Guerrero for the Cruiserweight Championship. Juventud was known to have a bad attitude backstage, but once he found out he was losing his title to Kash at Armageddon 2005, Juvi was beside himself. This was just one of the many tantrums Guerrero had pulled during this time.
Remember, he changed, he went to business for himself in a match with Kid Kash. He got heat over that. Another one, he got drunk and he was asking Randy Orton for a kiss.
He was sulky backstage before the bout, leading to Chris Benoit instructing Kid Kash to beat up Juvi for real in the ring. Kash knew the Juice wasn't going to cooperate as both wrestled a stiff match at the pay-per-view, especially Juventud. Kash revealed all on Rene Dupree's Cafe de Rene podcast.
But he looks right at me and he goes, Kid Kash, who's going to believe me not being champion? We couldn't call a match. It took us literally almost 8 hours to get a finish.
After getting back to the locker room, Benoit told Kash he didn't beat Juventud up enough, so Kash went one step further in their rematch 2 weeks later on SmackDown. He was more hard-hitting this time around and would go to extreme lengths during the finish after Juvi tried to sandbag him.
Even my finishing move, the suplex, he sandbagged me. I literally had to take a double pump to get his ass up. First time I've ever done this on deliberately, but I put him in my move and I deliberately tried to drop him on his head.
This might be right. Juventud can't even stand up. Here it is. There you go. The brain punch from the...
Our next example also involves a rough landing on a variation of the suplex. It happened during Kurt Angle's match with Rob Van Dam on the October 4, 2001 SmackDown. Both Angle and Van Dam enjoyed working a physical style, so it's no surprise a receipt was exchanged between the two.
You know what, Rob wasn't stiff all the time. You know, he laid in every once in a while. He got you pretty good, you know, one match, and then 3 matches would go by and he might get you with another one. He wasn't known to be stiff all the time. I was actually more stiff than he was.
RVD performed a leg drop from the apron while Kurt was draped over the announce table. The impact caused Angle to bleed heavily from the mouth, with referee Earl Hebner even throwing up the X sign. Van Dam apologized after they got through the curtain.
You know what? He apologized that time. He said, man, I am so sorry. You know I didn't mean it. I said, Rob, don't worry about it. It's cool. As much as he stiff people, I stiff people twice as much.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm no one to talk about it. I was a stiffy too.
The wrestlers continued working and Angle would eventually get his own back with some huge suplexes where Rob came down hard both times. Another example of Kurt being stiff occurred during a match with Matt Striker on the July 18th Monday Night Raw from 2005. Striker had earned himself a WWE contract after impressing the previous week against Angle, but during the rematch, Matt nearly choked the Olympic gold medalist out.
Rear naked choke on Kurt Angle. Did this guy do anything right? Kurt Angle's face getting dragged in. He's choking Kurt Angle. Angle's almost unconscious.
Kurt responded with a Randy Orton style punt kick that knocked Striker for a loop. Striker told the story during an interview with Wrestling Then and Now.
I must have been squeezing just a little too hard because he came up in the next spot. He kicked me square between the eyes for real.
Who is he? Is he Martello Striker? Wow.
But I stiffed the shit out of that kid. Kicked him right in the head. I mean, I'm surprised he was still coherent, that he was still awake, to be honest with you. I kicked him that hard.
This caused the finish to be botched since Matt was 2 days to get up for the Angle Slam.
Yes, Angle is turning up the Angle Slam. And this kid up. Get him. Kid is getting the leg.
Stryker believes him being too rough with Kurt resulted in the storyline between the two being changed to Angle feuding with Eugene instead.
But I know the buzz was that I was supposed to win his medals. And I kind of think that maybe because I was a little too tense there, the angle went to Eugene.
Our final example is the only one where the receipt came in the form of a submission. It all started after Bret Hart won the 1993 King of the Ring. Bret was already hurt, having wrestled 3 physical matches on the show, but the pain was made worse afterward when the Hitman was attacked by Jerry Lawler with a throne.
Weighed about 150 pounds, that chair or something, a big heavy chair. It hurt me for months, maybe 3 or 4 months to take a deep breath. I couldn't even take a deep breath because I was in a lot of pain from that.
Hart was going to get even during their match at SummerSlam, but not before Jerry hurt Bret again, this time with a crutch to the face.
Decides to come in the ring and wrap that crutch around my face, which was like the cherry on the cake. Like if you thought he was gonna get me, I thought I was mad before that. I was like really mad because that almost busted my face open really bad. I was gonna get even with Jerry Lawler.
Lawler finally got his receipt at the end of the bout when the excellence of execution wrenched back hard on the sharpshooter.
And after about 10-20 seconds, when he started getting tired, I'm cranking him up pretty good. That's when I kind of really cranked it. I kind of made the back of his boots touch the back of his head. And
now if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out a similar video of 30 minutes of infamous wrestling receipts. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.